Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Project Onward Artists at Home. Still the quarantine edition, I'm afraid, as most of us are still stuck at home. The studio has yet to reopen, but be rest assured that the staff and the artists can't wait to get everything up and running again safely and better than ever. So just please keep up with them on social media, keep visiting the website, sign up for the mail list. And in the meantime, I just hope everyone's being safe. If you're anything like me, you've got a whole drawer full of these masks now. And, Whitney would like me to point out that they are currently open by appointment only. So you can, if you really want to get in there, if there's some work you're dying to see, or if you just miss that Project Onward smell, get in touch with them and set up an appointment. I chose this mask today in honor of our very special guest, Mr. Louis DeMarco. He is the Luma Man, Mr. Las Vegas. He's the creative force behind Toasters, Bully Hole, Lightning Speed, DHF Express, and countless other projects. These bubble letters in this sort of Simpsons-esque font are among some of his most famous work. You've almost certainly seen them at the studio, perhaps even around town or around the world, as he's been featured in many, many showcases and galleries. Here in the States, you can see his murals around the city. He's also been featured around the world. He's one of my favorites. He's also a very, very good friend of mine and a frequent musical collaborator. And if you're wondering about the shirt, well, I shouldn't have to explain that because Wang Chung is awesome, but, well, that'll all make sense here in just a moment, too. Anyway, I'm going to invite Louis to join us. We're going to talk about his artistic journey, his experience with Project Onward, his music, and if you're lucky, you might even get to hear a song or two. All right, let's get Louis on here and get this show started.
Hi, thanks for having me.
There he is. Thank you, Louis. Thanks for joining us. How are you today?
Okay, I guess.
Okay, you guessed. Hey, well, that's all right. We're going to have a lot of fun. How about the shirt? What do you think?
It's amazing.
Thanks, Louis. I told the audience here that the shirt would make sense, but Louis and I both got to see Wang Chung not once but twice together last year and the year before, and it was amazing. Flock of Seagulls were there.
Yeah.
Who else did we see? Naked Eyes, Animotion.
Animotion.
That's right. When in Rome. You got a really nice Flock of Seagulls shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right now I'm wearing the shirt that Pat gave me.
Oh yeah, what's that? Oh, that's cool.
A Mexican shirt.
Awesome. Got some nice primary colors going on there. I like it. Well, Lou, I've been really looking forward to this conversation because, as I mentioned at the top, you're not only one of the most prolific artists at Project Onward, but you're also one of my best friends, and I always enjoy talking to you. Anyway, yeah, it's always fun to hang out and make music. We'll get into all that later because most people are tuning in today because
I'm also Adam's best friend and Danny Brent's best friend.
You're a lot of people's best friend, I would imagine. You're a very friendly guy. A lot of people like hanging out with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Real quick, let me just ask you, how's everything on your end? Can you hear me okay? Can you see me okay?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, great. Then let's go ahead and get right into it. Lou, I'd like to begin, well, at the beginning. I want you to tell us, if you can, just how you got into making artwork in the first place. If you remember kind of how old you were and what inspired you to start making art.
Well, I started drawing when I was 2 or 3. I started drawing TV logos, Victorian houses, trains, stuff like that, and stuff like that. And I'm a city boy.
Born and raised in Chicago?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So a lot of the architecture and the scenery around the city inspired you then, I guess, huh?
I guess so.
Yeah, and you mentioned, of course, that you drew TV. I know you're a huge fan of TV and movies and all kinds of pop culture, um, and that works its way into your art quite a bit. A lot of your idols, a lot of the celebrities and the characters that you admire, and you've even created some of your own. One sitcom that you've developed is Toasters, that
Yeah.
I really am a huge fan of. Real quick, could you just kind of explain the history of Toasters?
Toasters is based on the show Cheers
Uh-huh.
and the show Friends, especially with the characters. My character, especially with the characters, my character, for example, Steve Monroe,
Mm-hmm.
is based on Sam Malone and Ross Geller, hapless bar owner.
Classic sitcom scenarios, classic characters, kind of a hybrid of those two archetypes. And of course, you are the producer, writer, director, and star of Toasters. You also wrote and performed the theme song for Toasters, which maybe we'll get to hear if we have some time later. But tell us about some of these other characters and universes that you've created. Bully Hole is another one that comes to mind. That one explores your love of music a little more. Can you tell us about Bully Hole?
Bully Hole is like a band,
Mm-hmm.
band comprised of real people. Me and Nicky Logabo and Steve Spagatello.
Uh-huh. Now these are real people from your personal life, people you actually know, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And you have different lineups based on where they're performing, right?
yeah.
Cool. So what are some of the cities that Bully Hole has performed in?
Like stuff like say like a bunch of lineups like what?
They played in London.
London,
Uh-huh.
London, Australia, Canada.
Awesome. And they're different lineups and different set lists too, right? You kind of have different songs that are performed based on the lineup, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. And now Bully Hole, for people who may not be already familiar, you have done a lot of art related to Bully Hole. You've drawn portraits of the members and kind of live scenes of them on stage. They're really cool. I know some of them around the studio. I'm not sure if there are any for sale, but there's a really, really fantastic one on the project. You can see it on the projectonward.org website on Louis' page on there.
Yeah.
It features a live Bully Hole scene, and it's got one of his big, the background is some of the big bubble letters that say, "Everyone needs music." And that's one of my favorite pieces. Do you know which lineup off the top of your head that is, Louis?
That everyone needs music.
Yeah. Which Bully Hole is that?
That is the London lineup.
The London lineup. Awesome. Classic.
London lineup.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites. Lou, can you tell us a little bit about how you wound up working with Project Onward? Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, you were part of the original Project Onward team of artists, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I started working at Project Onward. In late 2005.
Mm-hmm.
I discovered Project Onward because I was in Gallery 37 in the summer of 2003 and 2004 and 2005.
Uh-huh. Now, Gallery 37, that was for more youth-oriented, right? That was for younger kids. And then when you reached a certain age, you weren't eligible anymore. Is that right?
Yeah.
So that's part of the reason why Project Onward was created, because you still, it wasn't really fair that you didn't have an outlet for your amazing art anymore. and the original founders of Project Onward, including Rob Lentz, who I know is a good friend of yours.
Yeah.
They wanted to form a place for adult artists to come and explore their creativity and display their work and sell their work, which isn't always easy when you're working with a community of neurodiverse individuals. But you've been there since the beginning, and you've really thrived. And I think you're definitely one of the most prolific artists there. And among your fans, of which you have many all over the world, but I want to talk real quick about one of your more famous fans and one of your own personal heroes. That would be Mr. David Byrne, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, David Byrne, lead singer and songwriter behind Talking Heads and numerous other projects. But David owns. I think he's been to the studio whenever he's in Chicago. He's been known to stop by, and he also picked up some of your work at the Outsider Art Fair in New York City, where you and Project Onward have been featured frequently. What's that? How does that make you feel, knowing that David Byrne owns some of your work and that it's being displayed proudly in his home? Is that a nice feeling?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know you admire his work a lot too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool. And I'm very proud to say it was really an honor, because in one of you do all these anatomical pieces of hearts, eyes, brains that have different feelings and people that you admire and people in your life. And you even included my name in one of them, which really meant a lot. And if I'm not mistaken, David Byrne now owns that piece. And I just think that that's really cool.
Yeah.
But
wait till my other idols own my start buying my artwork.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah. Who would you like to see most buy your piece next?
Lindsey Buckingham.
Excellent. Lindsey Buckingham, of course, from Fleetwood Mac. Amazing singer, songwriter, guitar player, and Louis' personal hero. I think he's definitely one of your biggest idols, right?
Maybe even Chris Martin.
Chris Martin of Coldplay. That would be cool. I'm sure if they saw your work, they'd snatch it up right away. How about Bono?
Bono, Michael Stipe.
Oh yeah, Adam Levine.
Yeah,
absolutely. That would be really cool. Well, let's talk about those pieces: the heart and the brain and the eye, and your other anatomical pieces. Can you tell us a little bit about the story behind those and what inspired them?
Inspired them?
Yeah. What made you decide to draw? And I should mention, if for those who may not have seen them, first of all, there are some examples on projectonward.org and on Project Onward's Instagram, but they are anatomically correct. It's not your classic, red heart, like Valentine's heart. It's an anatomically correct heart with these different segments, with just the names of mostly people and things that inspire you in them. So what made you decide to do that, Louis?
What made me?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just kind of came to you one day.
It kind of came to me. I don't know.
That's okay if you don't have an answer. I mean, I'd say sometimes you don't need an explanation. Sometimes art just happens out of thin air. I know.
Happens out of thin air.
Yeah, absolutely. I know you're always inspired by a lot of different things. Something else that I think most people would recognize are your charts, your cloud charts, and then you also have the halo charts, both of which kind of represent two different things. Can you explain what the cloud charts are about?
Cloud charts are bad states.
Mm-hmm.
Halo charts are good states.
So what are some examples of some of the bad states?
Bad states, bad states like distraction,
Mm-hmm.
and and romantic disappointment,
Mm-hmm.
and which is Ube.
Of course.
And,
Ube. Whitney pointed out, is flatulence one of them?
Yes.
yeah, that's brown.
That is a bad state. Nobody wants to be in that state. And these are all very real scenarios. I know ube clouds are something that you experience. I think we all do from time to time. But on the other hand, you've got your halo chart, which are good states. Tell us about some of the good states.
Happy ladies, man, endeavors,
Mm-hmm.
which is Barbie pink halos.
Of course.
Oh yeah. And let's see. Self-restraint, which is a white halo.
I see.
And let's see. Energy. Good energy, which is a blue halo.
Excellent. Now, Michelle's commenting. She said, "Pink Barbie halos only." Those are good. Those are good halos.
Yeah.
Keeping those ube clouds away.
The heart drawing. Well, and the heart drawing represents the people I love and the things that I love.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic.
And the music I love.
Uh-huh.
And the filter represents the filter represents the bad states.
I see. Now, again, your work has been featured all over the place. Some of these cloud charts, those Chicago residents may recognize from their huge featured mural along the 606 trail. Was that a pretty exciting moment for you, Louis, having your work featured so big and so prominently here in the city?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was way cool. I remember the first time I saw it, I was pretty blown away. Unfortunately, it's not there anymore, but there's a really great picture of it on Instagram. If you go to if you just search hashtag Louis DeMarco on Instagram, and a ton of cool stuff is going to pop up. I want to talk to you a little bit more about some of the other amazing stuff you've been featured in. The Gallery of Everything. That was a really big one. You can check out their Instagram over at Gal Every. That's GALLEVERY. And you were in a joint show titled "You're Not Only Human" with you and Tomoyuki Shinki, excuse me, who was also a very prominent outsider artist. That was a really prestigious, huge honor, I would imagine, Louis. Was that a really exciting show to be part of?
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. I mentioned the Outsider Art Fair. David Byrne's collected your work. This is a really cool one. Speaking of Project Onward co-founder Rob Lentz, he produced a short film recently of which you were the subject. It's called Hyperlexia. And that was a really cool project. I'm sure, Rob, I think he's watching. If you want to share a link, please go right ahead. I'm pretty sure you can find it on YouTube somewhere. I enjoyed that film very much, and it really gives a little more background into Louis and his really unique talent and a fairly unknown condition called hyperlexia that really gives you this incredible ability to I've mostly witnessed it in terms of your music, which is that you can have just like a fleeting knowledge of a song, of a melody, and you can recreate it immediately. You can play it on piano or bass or sing it. You just really lock onto things real quickly and are able to absorb them so quickly and recreate them, and it's really quite something. And I want to talk a little bit more about your music, Lou, because I know that that is something that you're very passionate about. It's certainly something that helped us connect early on. Um, would you tell us about playing with DHF Express, which later kind of morphed into Lightning Speed, which I'm a proud member of? But tell us about getting started with DHF Express and playing at Project Onward and exploring your musical side.
Um, I I started playing with DHF Express when I was in 2004 uh, in Walter Payton.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And who are the members of DHF Express?
me, I was the D.
Mm-hmm.
I was D.
Sure.
Adam was H, and the Frost brothers, Mr. Andrew Evanson Frost, and his was on the drums, and his brother Jimmy New York on lead guitar.
Excellent.
They were the F.
I see. I want to point out real quick, Rob has shared a link to that Hyperlexa video there in the comments. Everyone should definitely check that out. As far as DHF Express, you mentioned Adam, of course, that the H, that's Adam Hines, Hollywood Hines. You're the bass player. You're both kind of co-lead vocalists, and you played at a bunch of Project Onward events and gallery shows. The Frost Brothers aren't involved anymore, but you generously welcomed me into the band and my friend Jeff, and we've kind of taken their place. And now it's lightning speed.
Yeah.
It's still very much the same spirit. We play a lot of really awesome cover songs, just a lot of our favorites, mostly from like the 70s, 80s, a few on into the 90s and 2000s. But that's always so much fun. And you and Adam seem to have such an amazing time and have such a passion for it. What's it been like? I know Adam's, you mentioned, is one of your best friends. What's it been like getting able to play music with him?
It's like DHF Express without the Frost brothers.
Yeah, but how about Adam specifically? I know he's a good friend. Do you really enjoy collaborating with him and making music?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I do.
you guys really have good chemistry together. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. I love being part of it. You also make original music, Lou, and your music is so good and often kind of explores a lot of the same themes in your art. Sometimes it's really positive, really happy emotions. Sometimes it's a lot of these negative feelings, but you're never afraid to express them in your music. And you've written a song about some of your most famous work, which is the Ludamar song, and that explores a lot of the themes in this Ludamar universe that you've created. Can you tell us a little bit more about Ludamar and some of the characters in it?
Ludamar is my mythological kingdom comprised of a fortress, pyramid, treehouse, few houses, and plenty other islands. And each protector is guarding each place and telling people what to do, what not to do. They talk in Celeb's voice, like my protector, Billy the Butterfly, talks in the voice of the late great Adam West, who is unfortunately no longer with us.
Uh-huh. Can you give us an example of what he sounds like? Because I know you're very good at impressions.
He says, "Boss, do not pace back and forth, because if you pace back and forth, you could distract everybody, including yourself.
Fantastic. Well done. All right, so who are some of the other characters other than Billy?
Well, besides Billy,
Mm-hmm.
there's also Ricky the chicken.
Mm-hmm.
Talks the voice of. He tells me to clean my bedroom. He tells me to clean my bedroom. He tells me to clean my room. 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 He tells me to clean my room talks the voice of Adam Sandler.
Louis, clean your bedroom. If you don't clean your bedroom, you'll get a hard time.
Fantastic. That's kind of Little Nicky Adam Sandler, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, excellent. That's excellent, Lou. Now, I think it's important to point out that these are, Lou DeMar, of course, is completely from your imagination, and but it's really more than just this fictional universe that appears in your work. These are really, something else that people would recognize from your work are these Louisisms. And these are things that just phrases and kind of mantras, really, that you use all the time, and that I know a lot of your friends and people close to you, myself included, have kind of adopted. And they're really just things that kind of help you through the day and work through challenging situations and negative emotions. And it's really just a really helpful tool for dealing with these things. Yeah, and so was that kind of how it started? Did you come up with these phrases first, and then decide to kind of start including them in your art?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are some more Louisisms? Can you give us some examples?
Like Louisisms, like pay attention.
Pay attention. Yeah, definitely one of the more well known. We've also got this one here.
Some things need to remain in.
That's right.
Everything needs music.
Oh, that's one of my favorites. How about good thought trails?
Good thought trails.
Yeah, that's a good one. And occasionally, oh, here we go. You can't make everybody understand everything. That's another one I'm saying. That's a good one.
Can't make everybody understand everything.
Occasionally, you will do phrases. You'll borrow phrases from other people and do them in the same style. One I particularly enjoy that I'm looking at right now is do yourself a favor, become your own savior. Daniel Johnston said that, and you made a really nice image of that in your classic yellow bubble letters with the clouds.
Yeah.
That one you can see now on Project Onward's Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you've just done so many of these, definitely among your most popular work. And they're all really, Workaholic Breakdown Syndrome. That one's classic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's classic.
Maybe there should be a protector that talks in the voice of the late, great Ian Holm.
I think, what might that sound like?
Oh, I don't know.
What kind of animal do you think that one would be?
I don't know.
No? All right. Well, maybe we'll
Man, have to figure that out.
The Lou DeMar universe is always expanding, and you're always revisiting your work. And I know Robin mentioned earlier you're actually doing you're updating your cloud chart for 2020. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, good.
Maybe they should call him Bilbo.
Maybe they should. Maybe they should. That would be pretty fantastic. Well, Lou, I want to go back to my list of questions here. We talked a little bit about your origins as an artist. We talked a little bit about you becoming involved in Project Onward. I'd like to know if there's a particular memory you have at Project Onward that really sticks out. Maybe a show you were featured in, an award you received, or just any moment that comes to mind. What was one of your favorite memories of working at Project Onward?
Rob Lentz being there.
Yeah. What was that like?
He was like my Mr. Belding.
You're Mr. Belding, and you would be Zach Morris, I guess, in that scenario, huh?
Screech.
You're Screech. Wow, interesting. All right. I guess I can see it. You're a little cooler than Screech, but yeah, I'll take it. Well, Lou, can you tell us a little bit about more what your process is
And
like?
also, I'm Marty McFly, he's Doc Brown.
All right. Yeah, Robin just pointed that out too. I could see that. Okay. So a little bit more of a mentor then, I suppose, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Well,
miss.
yeah. I'm sure a lot of people do. I know he was definitely an important part of Project Onward history and such a huge influence on so many of the artists. Um, but it continues to be a really amazing, really flourishing environment. Do you like working with the other artists and being around all that creativity? Do you like to maybe offer them advice sometimes?
Offer them like
Like just anything. Do you talk to the other artists while you're there? Do you get to know them? Do they kind of inspire your work?
something like that.
Yeah,
Believe in Louisisms.
believe in Louisisms. We do. We absolutely do. Louis, what's your process like when you're working on art? What kind of materials do you like to use?
I use pencil, eraser, ink,
Mm-hmm.
and marker.
Mm-hmm.
And I also use and and when I'm painting, I use paint. I use acrylic paint.
Yeah, your painting is really amazing too. And you've painted one thing recently that I really thought was particularly amazing was the castles that you all painted. That was super cool. And again,
Thanks.
really in your signature style. Uh, you do a lot of really great portraits. You do a lot of kind of architectural stuff in addition to some of the charts and things that we mentioned earlier. Um, what is it that when you're doing portraits of people, uh, excuse me, water towers? When you pointed out they were water towers, not castles. Still very very regal looking. Um,
What is that?
yeah, water towers. Uh, what what's some of your favorite stuff to work on? What do you really enjoy doing? I know you do lots of portraits of people, a lot of celebrities that you admire. Um, is it just kind of just sort of whatever it is you're enjoying at the moment? What is it that inspires you to do that?
Uh,
And what are
what
what are some examples of some things that you're working on now?
what am I working on now?
Yeah.
Right now, I'm working on the ear drawing.
Okay.
The ear drawing. Uh, I'm in watercolor.
Excellent. That's
And
very cool. Well, do you have some examples of your work that we can see now?
uh, not now. It's
No,
actually downward.
it's at the studio. Okay. All right. Do you have anything that you've been working on? Do you, I know you got your pad
I,
that you have at home.
I'm
Just
I'm also working on the cloud chart and halo chart.
Top drawer.
It's on the top drawer.
The bottom.
I mean, darn it. Sorry. Usually not supposed to cuss during the meeting.
That's okay. Oh, wow. That's really exciting. So you only have one colored in right now, that green one over there. What does that represent?
Well, it represents a little more of a COVID meeting.
I see. So the pandemic has inspired your work a little then?
COVID.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, that brings us to another great topic, Lou. Can you tell us about what it's been like being stuck at home during
It's
the COVID-19 pandemic?
uh being stuck at home.
Yeah.
Stuck at home. Being
What's it
stuck.
like? What are you feeling? How does it make you feel?
How does it make me feel?
Yeah,
That I have a turquoise cloud above me.
I see. That's isolation.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we've all got some turquoise clouds hovering above us right now. But you are there with your mom and your dad and Timmy. And I'm sure you've been enjoying quality time with all of them.
Yeah.
Timmy, of course, is Louis's cat, who is adorable and very fun. And you're both very close, isn't that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And tomorrow's Father's Day.
Excellent. Are you doing anything special with your dad?
I don't know what to do with my father.
Yeah. Well, just make sure you're nice to him.
I'll figure something out.
I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will. Our options are kind of limited right now, unfortunately, but I'm sure you'll at least get to enjoy some quality time together. We've been talking about your music, and Robin pointed out that you wrote a song for Timmy. It's a nice little jingle. I think maybe we might need to hear that later too, but I want to ask a few more questions first. We've just got so much to talk about, so I'm really slacking on my list here. I do want to know what is it that you're trying to convey in your art, Lou? Are there specific messages that you want people to take away when they see some of your work? I know you have very, very specific feelings and emotions, but what would you like other people to feel when they see your work?
Other people to feel when they see my work.
Yeah, a lot of it's very personal. I mean, do you kind of just want them to know how you're feeling? Is that sort of the point of a lot of it?
To know what I'm feeling.
Yeah, right.
And I want them to understand my emotions.
Yes, that's very important. Well, you do a really good job of conveying that. Absolutely. Well, Lou, I think we've teased it long enough. If you're prepared, I'd really like to hear some music right now. I think everyone else would too. Might hear a song or two, and then we'll take a few more questions from the viewers if they've got any. So start thinking of your questions now. But first, I want to introduce Louis DeMarco playing, I think, the Ludamar song.
Billy tells me what to do. Prevents me from being right. Tells me to live in the night and never fix anything. Billy tells me what not to do. Tells me not to push the button. Tells me not to face back and forth. Pacing back and forth to stress. Everyone tells me get a love. Everyone, otherwise, get a hotel. tells me to clean my room, and if I don't, I'll get a hotel. Timmy tells me not to take too long a shower. Willie tells me to chew my food, tells me not to inhale my. He tells me to eat slow, tells me not to eat like a pig, tells me not to eat so fast, like my food, eating starch is not. So, you have to get along with everyone you're with, because if you don't, you get hard time. Singing,
Fantastic. Let's see those clapping emojis, everybody. That was really wonderful, Lou. I should point out there is a music video, an accompanying music video for that song too. I think the only place you can see it right now is on Project Onward's Facebook page. But definitely go check it out. Give them a like. Share that video. It's got a lot of his really amazing artwork that goes along with it. Speaking of videos, before I forget, I also want to point out, if you go to the link in the Project Onward Instagram bio, look at all those emojis rolling in and hearts. Everyone really liked that song. Go to the Project Onward Instagram page, click on the link in the bio. It's got a really fascinating panel discussion hosted by Project Onward, Executive Director Nancy Gomez, and it kind of coincides with their latest show of Outsider Connections, and explores a lot of those themes a lot deeper, and definitely has a lot of people who are involved in the outsider art community who really know what they're talking about, and it's definitely something worth checking out. Check out Rob's video, the hyperlexia video. That one is also worth sharing. And ProjectOnward.org has some amazing work, has some amazing merch like this. Get one of your own, and definitely do whatever you can to support this. Oh, and you know, Bill pointed out earlier, he wants to know when the album's going to drop. Louis and I have off and on for a while now been working on your debut album of original music, because you've got, in addition to the Lou DeMarco song, you've written a bunch of really amazing songs, and it's something that I was really taken with immediately, and I really think that the world needs to hear them. And unfortunately, our plans got derailed a little by the pandemic, but when it's over, I want to get together and start rehearsing again and hopefully record this thing for real and get it out there because the world needs to hear it. It's really amazing. So, Bill, the answer to your question is hopefully soon, maybe before the end of this year, if everything goes as planned. But Lou, I hope you are as excited to get back to work on that as I am. Are you? Yeah, awesome. Well, if you don't mind, Lou, I'd like to maybe hear a couple more quick songs. I know we had a request for Timmy's theme. That one's really brief. Can you play us that real quick? Fantastic. It is
At least, or at least something like that.
of course. Changes a little every time. Is Cindy, are you our cameraman right now? Are you working the camera there?
Yes.
Great. I want to real quick request another quick one, the theme from Toasters. But Cindy, this time if you could show us a little, show us him playing a little, because I want everyone to see just how deft he is with his fingers there.
Okay, well then, I'll get it.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
Is that
That's perfect.
good? Is that good?
Yep, that should work. I need come back home with me. Fantastic. That again was the theme song from the Louis DeMarco original production Toasters. So look out for that on coming to a TV channel near you.
Very Steve Monroe.
Very Steve Monroe, absolutely. I wish I could ask you to play some covers, but I don't want to risk this video getting blocked.
Now, the other characters of Toasters, there's also Donna Quarters, which is Diane Chambers, Rachel Green,
Uh-huh.
Steve's love interest, who is Kristen Corner's character.
I see.
And there's also Steve Monroe's best friend, Larry Lloyd, which is Woody Boyd, Chandler Bing,
Uh-huh.
Wisecracking Farm Boy. There's
How
also Darla Tortellini, which is Carla Tortelli, Monica Geller.
I see.
And Snakes, which is Cliff Clavin, Phoebe Buffet.
Fantastic.
And of course, Nate Patterson, which is Norm and Joe.
That's I can't wait to see that, Lou. I really hope the pilot gets picked up, because that sounds like good TV. And again, you would be playing the lead role of Steve Monroe, right?
Right.
Fantastic. Can't wait to see it. Can't wait to see it.
Right. Take the word for it.
Yeah. Guys, I wish I could ask Louis to play some covers, but I don't know. With this video will go up on YouTube eventually, and I don't want to risk it getting blocked. But just rest assured, you could name any pop song from the '80s, and he would play it amazingly. It's one of my favorite things to do when I hang out with Lou, is just jam on songs from the '80s. Depeche Mode, Boomtown Rats, U2, Talk Talk. These are all artists that Louis has been known to cover perfectly. Oh, Robin wants to hear Luma Man. Can we hear that?
I can feel
Fantastic. Wow. Lou, all your stuff's amazing. You do write some really lovely piano ballads. You do have a lot of really upbeat tunes too, though, I should point out, which, when this album's finally done, everyone will get to hear. Lou, do you have anything else you'd like to add before we wrap this up? Is there anything else you're working on that you're really excited about, or just anything else you want the audience at home to know? Hey, that's all right. We covered a lot, so I understand. I want to throw it to our viewers again real quick. Anything else they'd like to ask Louis? Oh, here we go. Whit brought up the At the Bar series. Do you have some of those handy that you can show us? Are you still working on At the Bar?
Well, I was working on At the Bar. My last At the Bar drawing. My last At the Bar drawing was me and the
Broad City
and the Broad City Days.
Yeah, there we go. You got, what is it, Allie and Alana, right?
Yep.
Yeah, fantastic. I know you're a big fan of the show, and again, a lot of your pop culture references make their way into your art, and then you incorporate yourself in there too, which is really fantastic. You've been watching a lot of Portlandia too, right? You're a big fan of that show, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Hey, Robin wants to know about Six Deep. I'm not actually familiar with Six Deep. What is that?
Six Deep is a group of Six Deep is a group of musicians, music group comprised of musicians that are sadly no longer with us.
Uh-huh.
Up above,
I see.
from up above.
So who are included in Six Deep?
Well, people like Rick Ocasek, Mark Hollis, and Michael Hutchins,
From the Cars, Talk Talk, and In Excess, respectively.
respectively.
Yeah.
Tom Petty, Roy Orbison,
Uh-huh.
both from Traveling Wilburys.
That's right.
Oh, John Prine.
It's quite a lineup. That's quite a lineup. Unfortunately, it's getting bigger every day, but it's nice to think of them all.
Bigger and bigger and bigger. Little Richard.
Yes, of course. Well, Lou,
Neil Peart.
Neil
Ben
Peart,
R.
right, from
Oh.
Rush. Uh-huh.
Oh, Matthew
That's
Seligman.
Yeah. Probably David Bowie's up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little more than 60 at this point. I think we're up to about 10 deep. Let's see. 2 doubled 133 left a comment here that says, snagged a Life is Good pouch at the store. Louis, are you a Salvador Dali fan?
Salvador Dali.
Yeah, and also follow-up question: who is your favorite deceased artist of all time? If you have,
Deceased artists of all time.
yeah, or just I'll expound on that a little and just ask you who are some artists that inspire you? Do you like Salvador Dali?
Salvador Dali?
Yeah, I can kind of see his influence in your work a little.
Salvador Dali. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, Louis, I know you consider yourself more of a peer than a fan of a lot of these people. I bet they'd be great admirers of your work. But you got a lot of really cool influences that come through. Let's see. I saw another question about here. Oh, hey, Birdbrain wants to know if you've been writing. I'm guessing maybe they're referring to music. Have you been working on any new music lately?
Lately?
Yeah.
Lately,
That was Alfie. Alfie was.
I haven't lately. I should start writing new music.
Well, that's okay. You and I will get together soon and we'll work on some new stuff. Lou, I hate to rush you. I'm just noticing this is the longest interview we've had yet. I guess it boots us after an hour. The clock is counting down at telling me we have 1 minute and 30 seconds left. So I want to take this moment to thank everyone for watching. I want to thank you, Louis, so much for joining us. I knew this was going to be a long one and a really interesting, fun one. I hope you had as good a time as I did.
Yeah.
Lou,
And there's also the three of us, which stars me and Al and Ben and you.
Okay.
Oh, excellent.
Mm-hmm.
That's so cool, Lou. Well, thank you so much for including me in your work. It's such an honor because I'm such an admirer of your stuff, Lou. Please keep it up. We'll look forward to seeing you back at the studio soon and look forward to see what you've been working on in the meantime. Louis, take care of yourself. Enjoy Father's Day with Frank. Cindy, thank you so much for helping us out with this today. Thank you to the staff at Project Onward, all the volunteers, all of the artists. Go to projectonward.org, follow them on Instagram, watch all these amazing videos. We'll be sharing links for those, including the Outsider Connections panel, which is going to be featured. Louis, you got any parting words for everybody? How about you give us your rocking out face?
Rock on.
Yeah, couldn't have said it better myself. Bye, everybody. We'll see you next time.